The top story we're tracking for our viewers right now is coming in from Syria, where according to War Monitor, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, Syrian security forces have killed 300 people, including women and children of ousted President Bashar al-Assad's Alawite minority. Now, this comes after Alawites, supporters of the ousted President Bashar al-Assad, allegedly launched a deadly attack in the coastal regions of Syria. Syria's interim president, Ahmad al-Sharaa, has vowed to pursue the remnants of the ousted Assad regime and bring them to trial. He has also urged insurgents to lay down their arms before it's too late. Syrian authorities claim that remnants which are loyal to the Assad regime launched a well-planned attack on their forces in the coastal region, which is predominantly Alawite. Now, the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said that more than 180 people have been killed in 2 days of violence. Alawites is an ethnic group in Syria from which the ousted Syrian President Assad belongs from.
We will continue to pursue the remnants of the fallen regime, those who refused but to continue their oppression and tyranny, those who committed crimes against the people, and those who seek to undermine security and civil peace. We will bring them to a fair court.
And Syrians in Damascus and Aleppo are rallying in support for the new Syrian regime as it battles against Bashar al-Assad's supporters. Protesters are calling an iron fist measure against anyone who wants to destabilize the country. Meanwhile, the German Foreign Ministry has urged all sides to avoid a spiral of violence, calling for peaceful solutions and dialogue. Russia, Saudi Arabia, Iran and Turkey have also condemned the violence and called for peace in the region. The UN Special Envoy for Syria, Geir Pedersen, has expressed alarm over the clashes and the killings, calling for immediate restraint from all parties and full protection of civilians in line with international law. The UN Security Council has been briefed on the chemical weapons situation in Syria. Now, for more on this, we are being joined live by retired General R.G. Mohammed Abbas from Syria. He's a Syrian military analyst. Thank you so much, Mr. Abbas, for joining us on WION World this month. Let me begin by saying that these recent clashes and the bloodshed that has ensued is touted as the worst since the toppling of Assad in December and has unequivocally threatened the stability of the entire region. And to backtrack a little bit for our viewers, the new government had pledged to unite Syria after the 14 arduous years of civil war. Now, but in light of the recent developments, do you think that the current government can fulfill its claim of creating a syncretic Syrian identity? Or is it likely to trigger a cycle of violence between different civilian communities who are living along the coast?
Thank you for this time. Actually, let's talk about Syrian citizens. I think all of Syrian citizens was full of pleasure for the collapsing of the Assad regime. All of us were full of a pleasure. We celebrate for this collapsing. Those whole types, whole sectors of Syrian citizens were inherited, were injured by Assad regime for these last years. Now, Sharaa, or what's called the liberation of Syria, comes. Mr. Ahmed al-Sharaa visited Latakia and Tartus, and he was received by hundreds of thousands of people who received him and say, hi, Ahmed Sharaa, okay, we are supporting with you, we are going with you, okay. We all this, all would Alawiya place or seacoast of Syria were supported to Sharaa to make a new state, make a new Syria. We support him, yes, but on the other side, you could find some little bit that who will benefit from the Assad regime may try to defend for the last regime. Those what we called him the agent regime, we called them the Assad regime agent. I think they are less than thousands, if you want to count them. But what happened in the last week? During last week, what happened? That I think two soldiers from the security agent of the Syrian security agent was killed at Datur Street in Latakia. After that, about 13 citizens of civilian citizens were killed in the street, and the calling for al-jihad, for al-jihad from all over the mosques in Syria was calling to gather and to go ahead for supporting this Syrian security forces in Latakia. In this moment, who comes to Latakia? Who comes to the Tartus? Anyone you could say, from the murderers, from the killers, from who were full of extremists, and we will not
Mr.
forget
Abbas,
what we call it.
We've seen
Shishan
some
or Igor or
very
other,
disturbing visuals also coming in from the affected areas, and civilians, of course, are at the receiving end. But now that the region has become a major security challenge for the interim president, Sharaa, how is that poised to affect the political transition?
I think Mr. Sharaa did put the finger on the where the pain is. The pain is from the pain happened in Syria nowadays in the seacoast, happened from those who comes and kill the killer in this moment, at this moment when I'm talking to you. Massacres are in Banya city, in Jabla city is still going on. Killing children, kids, boys, women, old men, burning places, burning.
Right, Mr. Abbas, thank you so much for joining us on Beyond World is One and sharing your insights with us.